How's everybody doing? My name is Echo. Today in this video, we are checking out another structures add-on. This one was created by PixelBeaster. It is priced at 1,340 Minecoins, which is £6.69. This add-on is $9. The description says, explore the lost structures and forgotten legends and discover their hidden knowledge. Find their landmarks across the world and learn to craft potion-infused flowers, armor-enhancing runes, magical sushi, and much more. 300 plus structures across 7 themes, vanilla-enhancing game features, 4 new special crafting methods, more than 100 new items. Now, this add-on is absolutely jam-packed. It's more than just structures. It's magic, it's foods, it's items, all combined into one. I'm going to do my best to teach you all about it. The add-on file size is 44 megabytes. This is one of the best add-ons ever released on the Minecraft marketplace. Now, I know I've said that a lot, but this add-on is so much more advanced compared to some of the add-ons we've actually checked out. Now, it took me a total of over 8 hours to understand, learn, and create today's video. So I first off hope you appreciate that. Even after all of those hours, I still have so much to learn and understand. I'm going to put a bunch of timestamps on today's video, so it does help you out. All I ask is if you could leave a like, I do really appreciate it. PixelBeaster are a prime example of top quality content on the Minecraft marketplace. This is more than just a structures add-on, honestly. This is incredible. Anyway, once you do have this installed in a new pre-existing world, you are going to be given a guidebook. It says, welcome to the structures add-on. Check out the starter guide to get started, or check out the content section to learn more about each theme. Now, at the bottom, we do have the about if you want to get in contact with the creators or help develop this, or you discover any bugs. This is going to be the best way to do it. They are incredible people. They helped me create today's video, and they're certainly going to help you out. If we go to the starter guide, it says, structures adds hundreds of new buildings, ruins, decorations, and more to be discovered in your world. There are 7 themes to the structures, each having their own unique gameplay elements. It then says, to begin with, you'll need to explore your world for these structures and collect the materials needed to build multi-block structures. The content section of this guide will give you more information about each theme, contained with specific books for that theme. Below, you can find more information about each theme in this add-on, including what that theme does, where to find the structure, and a specific guide for how the theme works. To use the guides, simply use the book to turn the next page, or sneak and use to turn the page back. So we have things like Alchemist, Fisher, Herbalist, Runesmith, Summoner. We also have things like the Technician and the Witch. All of these are interconnected, which means you have to continuously explore when this add-on is enabled, but by doing so, you're going to be heavily rewarded. So to make things a little bit easier for you, if you just tap on one section, like the Alchemist, it says the Steam Alchemist theme allows for the transmutation of items and materials, allowing you to gain rarer and more powerful items. The structures for this theme are mostly found in forests and mountains. You can find more information in the Alchemist guide, which if you just tap on this, it's going to give you a brand new book. So if we tap on this, the lost art of alchemism opens up many ways of transmuting items into another and creating new and useful substances. Now, at the bottom, it tells you about the alchemical transmutation, which can be conducted at the Steam altar. On the right-hand side, create a Steam altar by placing 5 altar blocks in an X-shaped grid. You can find the altar blocks or the special Steam powder to craft them with the Alchemist ruins. So you have to get out there, and as it did explain inside of here, you can only find this in certain biomes. One of the problems we have right now with the structure-based add-ons on Minecraft Bedrock Edition is, as you all know, the structures spawn way too frequently. I can confirm in this, they are incredibly rare. And as you can see via my coordinates, I've had to go thousands upon thousands of blocks to actually discover one of these functional structures. Now, sometimes you will find them on a much smaller scale like this. Stick around in today's video. They're not all like that. Some are going to be on a much larger scale. So this has some pretty cool things. This right here is going to be needed. This is an altar block. You can actually craft them. If you're lucky, you are going to discover this stuff right here, which is steam powder, which is going to be needed in a bunch of recipes. Let's see. Oh, wait, there's another one. Oh, there's another structure over there. Okay, so we've actually got very, very lucky here and discovered 2 of them. But yeah, they're all different. There's hundreds and hundreds of structures. Like I said, some are going to be smaller. Some are going to be bigger. Some are going to be much rarer. Is this the correct biome? I'm not entirely sure what this one's going to be, but we're going to go and check it out. So this stuff is needed. There's a bunch more things you can discover, but don't worry. Most of these can be crafted anyway. This right here is going to be a steam table, which can actually be crafted. We got quite lucky here, so we could technically steal this and take it home if we wanted to, but I'll leave it here for the sake of today's video. We have a wrench, which is going to be needed, the altars, these blocks, and of course the actual powder, which as you can see here, this can be crafted, but it's slightly different from this. Is there anything else inside of here that we could potentially need? A little bit more of this. Of course, we're going to take that. We have a little bit more of that inside of there, and I think that's it. But again, guys, you're going to have to search and travel far and wide. So to get it crafted, you are going to need that special powder, some copper ingots, and a crafting table. So let's grab our needed ingredients, open up a regular crafting table, tap on craftable, and we now have access to this, where if we grab the right materials, which is going to be these, open up this, we're able to make a bunch of these. We're going to need a fair few. I'm just going to grab 8. We're also going to need a wrench as well. There's obviously this can be crafted. I don't seem to have the right materials there. Let's just have a quick look and see if I put them anywhere. Okay, it's not a concern because we don't actually need this right now, but we can actually infuse it. So in terms of placing this down, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to make myself one more here and watch what happens. So now we can start to infuse different items. All of that's explained inside of here. I am just very quickly gonna make a bunch of this and open up the guidebook. On the right hand side, it says transmutation powder. This powder can be crafted from redstone dust, glowstone dust, and steam powder. Its magical essence can be used on certain blocks to transform them into other blocks of similar nature. Many blocks like dirt, stone, and logs respond to it. So if I was to tap on this, it can be transferred into andesites, diorites, of course, granites, back to stone. This can be transformed into different versions as well, including mycelium. If you were doing like a sky block or using this in some kind of underground world, this is perfect. And you can obviously change the different types of logs. But this gets so much better than this, because what's also cool is you can actually alter animals. So, well, these guys are a mess right now. Let's start with a chicken. If we tap on a chicken, as you can see, we can cycle through the variants. I like this guy. It's got a cool set of hair. Next one is going to be the pig. So we can change these. And of course, it's also going to happen for the cows as well. But the altar right here is all about fusing different materials together to get a different one. Now, for the time being, the image on the bottom left, completely ignore that. We'll get into that a little bit later on when we start to learn about runes. On the right-hand side, we have altar recipes. So we're going to have the ability to turn copper into iron, iron into gold, gold into diamonds, and there's a ton of different recipes. So the top one is going to be related to grass, arcane essence. Don't worry about that right now. Witching iron can be fused in this system, but don't worry about that right now. A lot of these will make sense a little bit later on because they're linked to the other aspects and themes within this add-on. We also have things like void totems, which is obviously going to save you from the void. The catalysts, these make sense a little bit later on and are actually linked to spawners. Well, there's a whole bunch of things you're able to do. So the way this works is, let's do the dirt one, for example. Place this here. Place this one on these sides. Grab yourself a wrench. tap on this, it's going to fuse it together. And this simply just produces grass. That's all it does, right? There's more exciting ones. So let's grab these. I can't fully remember what everything actually creates here. Put this on here. Let's do this. Maybe this one isn't actually a recipe right here. It's not. Okay, so for example, this one actually doesn't create anything. We'll figure this out in a little bit of time. Next one we're going to learn is going to actually be related to a totem. So to do the totem, you need a regular totem. You need dragon's breath. You need a feather. And you're going to need an ender pearl. This is going to fuse together. And the outcome is going to be your void totem, which of course is going to be used inside of the void/end. As you can see right there, needs to be in main hand or off hand in order for this to work. This is going to save you. Okay, so I was nearly there. Right-hand side, you can craft the steam powder if you need more. It's gunpowder, breeze rods, blaze powder, and a snowball. I had this for some bizarre reason. So if we now fuse this together, we have more of this powder in case you need it. And everything in this add-on works together. So if I open up this, here is everything else you're able to get. Essence, that makes sense a little bit later on. The witching iron, that's going to be linked to the witching aspect of today's add-on. The fishnet is linked to fishing. The flora is linked to the farming aspect and plants. And this is also linked to separate spawners along with these. But you do need this before you can actually progress. So next, we're going to learn about the fishing aspect. I already have books here, but again, if you would like to grab a specific book, open up the guidebook, go to content, tap on Fisher, for example. It says the Fisher theme introduces automated fishing and new sushi food items. The structures for this theme are mostly found on beaches or in oceans, and then you can grab yourself a book. So I already have these placed down to make things a little bit easier for us. If we open this up, it says the Veteran's Fisher's Guide has some tasty notes on fish traps and sushi. Build fish traps that catch fish automatically and chop them into sushi with some, I can't really see that because we have a totem on, with some rice and dried kelp. On the right hand side, it then starts to explain how the fish traps work, but I'm actually going to show you. The mechanics of this is also really cool. You can then make yourself some special sushi. I will do my best to show you as many different structures as I can. The structure part is the basic side of this add-on. And honestly, I think a better name than structures definitely should have been given to this add-on because it's more than just structures. Anyway, this is one thing we're able to make a little bit later on. There is going to be rice patches that you can obviously discover. This is going to be linked to your sushi. This is one structure. We do have another one over there. Don't be panicking that these are on a small scale. Trust me, there are massive structures. They're just incredibly rare. These are what you will just encounter as you explore your world. Pretty useful for setting up your base. So this right here is going to be one of the fisherman's huts that you can discover. They've actually given us a little bit of sushi. All of the items you need to advance, if you're lucky, can be found inside of barrels and chests. On this occasion, it doesn't look like we've gotten any luck. No. But we do actually have a hanging fishing net here, which will be useful. I'm not going to destroy this because I actually got very lucky in this world and actually discovered another one over here. So this one I know has a couple of things in it because I've actually prepared part of the video over here. It just made a lot more sense. So if you're lucky, you might discover fish nets. However, in the previous altar table that I showed you, if you get 4 string, you can actually infuse it together to make yourself these nets. We've also found ourselves some iron armor. I'm going to put this on for the sake of today's video. There should be a couple more things that we can find if we are lucky. Cauldron, a chest with more fishing nets. That's incredibly helpful. We've got ourselves a little bit more. That's nice to see. We've also got ourselves some other materials as well. So this is just a smaller one. You can find it on a much bigger scale. Now, once you do have nets, if you've crafted them or found them, you can make yourself a special table. Now, in order to make this, you are going to need the nets, you're going to need oak, and you're going to need a crafting table. Inside of a crafting table, if you don't see it, tap on craftable, you get the fish's table. However, you need a second one. This one requires more than one. So place down 2, they're going to connect together. If you open this, we now have access to fishing traps. we also have access to sushi, and it shows you how to actually make it. However, what we're going to do is make ourselves a bunch of these, because we're going to need a bunch, trust me. It's best to also get yourself some barrels, because this works, hold on, in tandem with chests, or in fact, barrels. It says, and we'll go to the first page here, fish traps are convenient devices that can be placed in water to catch fish. Find them, or, in fact, craft them with the fish's runes. Fish traps only work with certain conditions. First, they need to be stacked up at least 2 blocks high. Second, each block needs to be surrounded by 8 blocks of water. It shows you a demonstration, which was really helpful. Third, a block with an inventory needs to be placed on top. On the right-hand side, fish traps can go up to 10 blocks deep, getting more efficient as each additional block. So the higher you make this, the more fish you're going to get. All kinds of fish, as well as some junk or treasures, can be caught in the trap. And it explains the whole situation with sushi, which we are going to get into as well. So, if you have 1, not functional. If you have at least 2, they connect together. This is functional. You can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can go as high as you want, as long as it's 10. Also functional, gonna produce a lot more. So I went ahead and actually prepared this earlier on. Now, inside of here, I got a couple of things. This one's not doing too bad, and they do seem to fill up quite quickly. We didn't get lucky with the treasures in that one, nor did we with this one, but you just seen we did get ourselves a fish. We're also having to deal with drowns. Last but not least, this is the highest one, which, again, as you can see, didn't technically produce anything. So I'll show you guys this. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm just going to do it as 8. Place this on top. Now, this will start to catch things for us. So if we start to open this, you'll see we're starting to gather fish. The longer you're here, the better chance you have of getting more things. It's honestly awesome to see. It's an automatic farm for you. So while I start to catch a couple more fish for us, let's just read this guide a little bit more. Sushi. With fish, dried kelp, and rice from the Herbalist ruins, which I did show you before, you can craft sushi at the fisherman's table. Each sushi slice is a light snack that can be eaten very quickly. Sushi can also be dipped into certain potions with a witch's cauldron to gain its effects. Now, we will get into that a little bit more later on, but you can see here you can dip it in absorption, health boost, fire res, and I kind of want to show you guys this aspect. So what we want to do here is make ourselves a bunch of sushi. I made 96. Yes, a lot of these. We're just going to simply eat these. Again, it's a light snack. You can go ahead and eat it. It shows you the actual hunger right in front of you. Now, this, which we're going to learn a little bit later on, is quite advanced, and it's a really cool way to do things. So what we need to do is actually drop this inside. We have a ladle, which I'm going to teach you about later on. We're just going to obviously mix this all together, wait for it to do its magic. Then we're going to input some sugar. Okay, that's now done. Next, drop this in. It's been accepted. Put this inside. After that, we can grab ourselves a sushi piece, and we should be able to dip this in and consume it with special effects. Tap. We now have ourselves... I don't know where that went. Wait, do I have to mix this too? Ah, we got it back. Okay, so there you go. Sushi is speed. So when consumed, it gives us a little bit of speed. There is way more advanced ones. I just wanted to give you guys the general understanding of how this works. It's incredible. I'm also pretty sure you get to do this 8 times, by the way. I think it's a total of 8. I think so. I think we've taken another one out. I've eaten some of them. Yeah, so I think it's 7 or 8 uses. There's 7. So yeah, it's 8 uses you get. I've been trying to keep an eye on these to see if we get ourselves any treasures. They're basically like a different version of the AFK Fisher. As you can see right here, we did not get lucky though. But over time, you can get books, bows, and enchanted fishing rods. So after learning about the Alchemist and the Fisher, let's learn about the Herbalist. It says, the Herbalist theme allows players to create new flower hybrids, which can be used to create powerful blooms. The structures for this theme are mostly found in flower forests, meadows, cherry groves, and of course the sunflower plains. And of course, if you tap on this, it is going to give you a book. Let's go to the right destination. So remember when I said to you, everything is very well balanced and spread out? Some things are on a smaller scale, some are on a larger scale. Check this out. This is one of the main buildings for the Herbalist, but there is nothing else around here. Like I said, guys, I had to explore thousands upon thousands of blocks in today's add-on just to see how the generation worked. It's absolutely perfect. Anyway, this is something I know a lot of people are gonna really enjoy. And just like before, I have another section set up down here to teach you how things work. Let's get down there. Now, we have to give the creators a lot of credit here because the way this structure has generated is absolutely perfect. Usually, a lot of structures can be floating and just look out of place. With this one, this is certainly not the case. And you'll see around the back here, it's kind of cut through a structure, but like it doesn't look too out of place. You know what I mean? Things aren't just like squared off. So I was super impressed with generation. So this is one of the most important Herbalist locations. This does produce things like rice, which you need a trowel. I'll show you that very shortly. If you're lucky, inside of chests, you are going to find the floral soil. This is one of the main aspects for the herbal side of things. Well, the creators basically said that this is perfect for a starter base. Like if you started a brand new world and was by this, then you're quite lucky. Because again, they're incredibly rare to discover. So I was happy that I managed to find this. I don't see any more chests inside of here as of right now. But yeah, there's a lot more exploring to be done inside. Oh, there we go. Inside of these structures. There we go. Flowers. Also, quite important to take these. Because what we're also going to do in today's add-on is kind of fuse things together. This is awesome to see, by the way. Lots of things that we will need for this next aspect of the add-on. We have the sleeping quarters. Where we do... Oh, the trowel. Perfect. Oh, we've even got the fertilizer. Absolutely perfect. I'm also going to actually take this for the time being because I feel like I need it. Anything else for me to find inside of this one? I don't think so. I'm focusing less on the structures, which I know sounds really weird because it's one of the main aspects of this add-on. Yeah, there's a bunch of goodies for us to find. Can I combine these together, by the way? Does that work like that? It does. Perfect. Anyway, let me teach you about this next aspect. This guidebook says the lost art of flower crossing is described in this Flora Compendium. Create new flowers by crossbreeding them. The Flora Planter creates a simple method of crossing flowers by placing them opposite each other. So first off, we need to make the special table. This is how you make it. The tables are somewhat very similar, which was really helpful. So you're going to need oak, a crafting table, and you're also going to need the flora soil. This will give you access to the potting table. This does not need multiple. However, we need to grab ourselves a whole bunch of resources here because inside of here, we need to make ourselves a bunch of planters. I'm going to make 9. 1, 2, and 3. They're now combined together. I'm going to make a couple of these because we're going to crossbreed plants. So if we open up this, we also need a trowel, but we already have one, so I'm not going to actually make that. We are going to need the fertilizer. Now, the next thing you're going to do is start planting down your flora soil. Now, inside of the guidebook on the next page, it basically says that you need to plant down 2 plants, either left or right side, and a new one will be created. So, let me show you, for example, right? Let's grab dandelion and cornflower. This goes here, this goes here. In the middle is going to be a special plant that will grow over time. Now, I know a couple of really cool recipes here, so I'm going to start planting down a couple of these. Again, inside of this guidebook, it does explain how it works, but I will go ahead and read it to you. It says, to use the flora planter, you only need to place 2 flowers at both ends of the planter. A new flower will slowly grow in the center part. If the 2 flowers can crossbreed, a different flower has a chance to grow in the center. Otherwise, the new flower will be either of the 2. To harvest flowers, you need to use a trowel. Find one in the Herbalist ruins or craft it, which we've already crafted it. Many new rare flowers and even some magical ones can be created in this planter. And then if we go to the next page, it says rice paddies, some Herbalist ruins will have rice inside of them. Rice grows just like wheat, but can only be planted on waterlogged rice paddy. And then explains how to create it as well and use a trowel and stuff like that. That stuff, again, I found the rice paddies quite frequently, so I'm not worrying about actually making those. Right-hand side, Flora Fertilizer is a special item that can be used on grass to grow flower meadows. So if you do this, you're able to obviously grow some plants. Is that a special one? We have a green tulip. That's a unique one. That's a unique one. So later on, these are going to be used for special effects. So you'll see here, these are starting to grow. Now, if I was to try and take this out, it's not going to work. We have to use a trowel. On this occasion, we did manage to get ourselves either a purple tulip. I think it was a purple tulip. Or maybe it was a cornflower. It might have been a cornflower. This one has created a pink tulip. And this one has created a dandelion. But if we go towards the back of this book, you can see how it actually works to crossbreed these special flowers. Okay, so if I was to grab this, because I think if we was to grab two of these, which would be Lily of the Valley and Oxeye Daisy, according to this, and it might be backwards here, it's going to create a pure flower, which would be unique. Now, some of these will make sense a little bit later on, and they're used for other things. But it's also going to be used to create yourself a whole new set of flowers, which, again, I really liked this aspect. It's not just the structures add-on. We've got magic. We've got, like, flowers and farming. We've got things like tinkering. You'll see all that a little bit later on. We're just waiting for this one to grow. But yeah, special combinations will create special plants. So yeah, I was right. It has created a new species of flower. Now, I'm also curious if I was to, like, because this is technically like a bone meal. That one, not this one. It's going to be this. I was hoping you could bone meal them and kind of like duplicate these special ones. But yeah, these are really cool. There's a lot more to learn about this. Like I said, guys, I only learned the basics, but I was super impressed. Let's move on to the next section. Next on our list is going to be the Runesmith. It says the Runesmith theme adds a new tier of armor and equipment by allowing you to upgrade netherite gear. The structures for this theme are mostly found in taigas, savannas, and deserts. You can find more inside of this log. So if we open this up, it says the ancient runesmiths techniques are written down in this log and allow even more refined upgrades to netherite tools and armor. So we need to go and find a brand new structure. So another example of structures not generating too frequently. We got lucky with this one and I found the perfect structure that we actually need. I have my render distance, I think between like 18 and 20. Obviously, if you increase it, your chances of finding them are also going to be increased. Now, these right here are going to be arcane blocks, which are actually used to make a special furnace. Now, if we go down here, we got quite lucky. We managed to find ourselves a blank rune. Now we have the arcane essence, which we talked about a little bit earlier on. Got myself some of the armor. These, I'm guessing I'm going to have to use a pick. So /give at p diamond _ pick. Let's break this. Is it going to allow me? Yes, it is. Okay, so we need a bunch of these. In fact, you need, I think it's how many we got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's like 6 to 8. I think it's 8 in total that you actually need. So sometimes you'll find them like this. Sometimes you'll find like 1 or 2. It just aids in needing to explore to brand new destinations. But don't worry, if you don't find these, you can craft them, I believe. But let's make our next special table, which is used with gilded gold. The gilded blackstone, and you're also going to need the arcane essence, which we managed to find, so we got quite lucky. Now, I believe maybe you can make the gilded in this. You might have to make it in the special table. Sometimes you might find these tables at these locations, by the way. So one might have these blocks. The other one might actually have this. Anyway, let's get this thing made. This one only needs 1 on its own. If you tap on this, you can make yourself the forge, which is going to be used with essence and the gilded. You can make the gilded, but it has to be inside of there. And a special hammer. We're going to get all of this made. So let's make ourselves... We've already got 5, so 6, 7, and 8. We're then going to place these down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. We're now going to have to make ourselves a hammer. We could make a bunch of these. But let's read this actual guidebook. So these steps are what I've just showed you. Next on this page, it says to reforge netherite gear into arcane netherite gear, place the tool and armor into the forge, and then you have to use the hammer. So you do have to get yourself netherite. Let's start with a pickaxe, for example. Tap on this. That goes inside of there. We then need to have a quick look at this. We need to grab ourselves the hammer. We now need to forge this. It's now going to be upgraded better than netherite. It's going to be a forged version, which is this one, the arcane version, which is actually better than netherite, but can be upgraded once again. So the next part of this, it says to graft runes onto arcane netherite gear, place the gear and then the rune into the forge, then work it in with a rune hammer. So in order to make yourself them, we're going to have to grab ourselves, I think it's this. Then we have to whack this. I think it produces a blank one. It does. And now you can put special effects on these. So if you look inside of here, I have all of these special abilities. Now, I believe on its own, it doesn't actually do anything. Yeah, it doesn't actually do anything at all. And this is what I keep saying to you. Previous aspects and future aspects of this add-on are going to be linked together because you have to infuse a blank rune with a witch's cauldron. So let me kind of show you this one more time because we're going to put a special effect on it. If I was to grab myself the warts, you've seen... Oh, we need water. / give at P. Water bucket. Put this inside of here. Same process as before. We're going to have to mix this. We're then going to have to put this inside. Then we're going to have to put one of these templates. Then we're going to have to put something like this inside. So let's go ahead and put this inside and spin this again. I believe when we tap on this, it should produce... Hold on, is this the right one? I think it is. It should produce a special ability. So we now have this, which is a Fury. Now, if you want to learn about Fury, we can open up this and it should tell us. So what does Fury do? It gives you strength when you're hurt. Okay, so I think what I would need to do is grab another piece. So we'll go with a chest plate here. That goes inside of there with a hammer. It then gets fused together. Have a quick look. Take this off. This now has Rune of Fury. So if I get hit by a husk here, we end up... Is that not how it works? Maybe it's not that one. It's meant to give you strength, though. Maybe it needs to be on a sword. Maybe it needs to be on a sword. That actually produced a soul. That's the first time I've seen a soul. They make sense a little bit later on as well. But basically, these have to be fused together. So let's find one that I know actually works. There is a fleeing one. Let's put fleeing in with boots. So boots plus this combine. Let that do its magic real quick. So why didn't this one work? Rune of Fury. Strength on hurts. Ah. When I get hurt, it's meant... Yeah, when I get hurt, it's meant to give me it. So maybe it's just like an off chance. We'll try these again. Try again. There we go. We've got the speed one. I'm definitely... There we go. There's the strength one. Yeah, so you're not guaranteed it. So it's very balanced. Can I use this as a melee weapon? I got really confused there. I thought I kind of learnt this wrong, but there are so many different ones of these. They have so many special abilities. Let's find another one. We'll just have to read a little bit more information inside of here. So I'm going to grab an axe. One of them is leeching, which is basically like leech life in a way. So certain ones need to be combined with certain tools or certain armor. Some can be done on both. Give ourselves an axe here. So if I was to take a bunch of damage, 1, 2, 3, 4. See, we can actually do this as leeching. It basically gives you regen. It's so awesome, honestly. I was super impressed. And while we're here, I'll take a quick look at the whole entire armor set so you guys can see what it looks like. So this is the upgraded version of netherite in this add-on. Now, just so you guys are aware, on this right-hand side, blank guarding runes are made in the Steam altar. So if I was to just go inside of here, grab myself this book one more time, we open this up, just go to the recipes, There is a special rune on the right-hand side. So we have the garden rune. I'm not sure what the other item is. It's definitely gold, milk, the rune template, and something else. I'm not sure if it's a special flower, but yeah, they need to go inside of the altar I showed you at the start of this video. Now let's learn about the summoner. Now that soul that you've seen before is the first time I've seen it, but they become quite useful a little bit later on. The summoner theme allows for custom spawners to be used to spawn mobs. The structures for this theme are mostly found in ice plains, jungles, pale gardens, and mushroom islands. So if we grab this, let's go to our destination. We have a small structure there, a relatively big one over there. We also have ourselves two smaller ones. This was the actual first place I seen them spawning quite frequently together. This is the one we're going to be using. I'm on a mushroom island, so it's quite rare. Maybe because it's quite rare, they wanted to 100% make sure it spawns. So for this one, I actually never set it up in item frames because I got quite lucky and this actually spawned here. This is going to be the Necro stand. Now, if we open up this, it says the Soul Codex contains forbidden knowledge of an ancient summoner who could manipulate souls to spawn evil into the world. We have the Eldritch Spawner, allows for controlled and intended spawning of all kinds of mobs. Find an Eldritch Spawner or Catalyst Shards and Spawner Shards to craft them in the Summoner's Ruins. So, if you are lucky, and I'm going to go back to Game Mode C here, you might find yourself a spawner like this, but if you don't, you can actually find barrels, which will have sometimes the Catalyst, sometimes the Shards. Remember, these Catalysts can be infused in the altar. Or you could find things like the Spawner Shards. So you can craft this in case you don't actually find a spawner on its own. So if we just grab a whole bunch of resources here, this is going to let us craft a spawner if we wanted to. And I'm going to place this over here. Don't worry, it's not active. You get to pick and choose when it does become active. We also have the ability to make ourselves the Catalyst. We've got one spare. We are going to need a bunch of these in today's video. I also grabbed myself the Arcane Swords as well. So let's read a little bit of information. We're also going to need a whole bunch more things here. So we need to make ourselves a flask. We're going to need souls. This gives you the ability to turn things on or off. This is going to be a catalyst, but we're going to need a different one. So did I have another one inside of here? This is just... Yeah, we do. We have a zombie one here. We're going to use zombies as a prime example. Bottom right. To charge the spawner, you need to imbue it with a mob catalyst and then feed it souls from a soul flask as fuel. It then says, tap on it. It's going to obviously activate it. And then obviously you need to put in the souls and then you have to activate it yourself. So basically, we need souls, right? So for the sake of this video, what I am going to do is basically say that we've captured a soul. If we do / summon a soul, this is what the souls would look like, apparently. That's what they look like. Now, I actually don't know how we fill them up. That's a very good one. We have to put them in here? Oh, we captured it. Okay, yeah. So you have to capture those souls. So we'll do this a couple more times. Come on. There we go. We need to get a couple more. There we go. One more, and it should fill this up. There we go. Let's say we did manage to capture all of these from mobs. Anyway, we need to tap this on here. We need to charge this up. We need to go back to game mode survival here. Soul added. So you can see here it's going to start going up. And this is going to be full right now. We need to turn this off or on at player discretion. Each soul fuels the spawner with 5 charges, and it can hold up to 20 charges. You can craft soul flasks and the catalyst at the summoner's table. Souls are fickle beings that sometimes manifest from kills. And then one thing I will say is I never technically learned the mutated aspect, but there is going to be a mutated side of this. But you can pick and choose if you turn this on or off. So this is active, and it should spawn them now, which it did. So obviously we could possibly get ourselves some souls from this if we're lucky. But yeah, it's a really cool aspect of this. Again, obviously the whole add-on works together. And you can keep this going until all of the souls run out, and then you'll have to fill it up. Just a great way to get yourself a spawn going. Custom spawner. I'm going to very quickly turn this thing off. if you go inside of this table, we can make a whole bunch of different ones here, which is just going to make mob farming so much better. If you want to make the flask, that's how you make them. But I do apologize. I'm not quite sure how the mutated ones work. Spawners can become mutated spawners. Adds a transmutation soul flask into them. So if I was to go to game mode C, there is a way to get a transmutated one, which would be this one. Let's grab a spawner. So we'll go with a husk, for example, here. So does it mean I have to put this in? And then this? Transmutation applied. Okay, so if I was to go to soul, we'll grab ourselves some souls, and we'll grab ourselves the... I actually don't know what it's called. We need this. So this goes in there. Turn this on. So I don't know what the mutated versions actually means. I'm not entirely sure, guys. Oh, it drops this. Ah. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. Yeah, I apologize. There's just so much to take in, guys. I'm trying not to overwhelm you as well as myself. The next one after Summoner is going to be Technician. The Technician theme introduces new ways to blow things up. The structures for this theme are mostly found in extreme hills, ice spikes, mazes, and stony peaks. You can find more information inside of here. So if we grab this, open this up, it says the Technician's scrapbook has some interesting notes on explosives and cannons. So if that's more your thing, you're gonna like this. There is no other structure around me other than this one, which has perfectly generated. So this one, in fact, this right here lets you create a cannon. Let's see if we can find any loot here that might well be needed. Okay, we're gonna have to go in from the front. Definitely some chests. TNT. This one has dynamite and blast powder. They are definitely going to be needed. Aha. We don't need that stuff. A couple of things for players to take with them. We don't need that. We have another chest here, which, again, things I don't technically need. I love the decorations, though. They're pretty cool. Well, let's learn about this. So this one, we are going to need the dynamite, and we're going to need the actual powder that we found in order to make ourselves this special crafting table. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, again, crafting table. And these is going to let us make the boom bench. However, doesn't work on its own. You're once again going to need 2 of these. Now we have access to making ourselves a cannon base, the actual cannon, powder, TNT, etc. So we're gonna grab all of the needed ingredients here. We got quite lucky. Now we can make 4 of these, right? So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Fine. Or you can go ahead and just make 1 of these. And if you find a base like this, we can just do it this way. And then obviously it says insert powder. Is it this? Cannon needs blast powder. So how do I do it? Is it this way? Right, I haven't used this one. There you go. I am sorry, Armadillo. Keep that thing away from me. Keep that thing away from me. I think you can throw this too, right? Yep. Yep, you can. Yeah, I'm a danger to myself. I'm an absolute menace. But yeah, it's really cool for creating bases. I'm going to take half of these real quick. Because I kept this one a secret. The others I had to learn to relay. I was like, surely I can just turn up and, you know, blow everything up like a crazy man. Honestly, it reminds me of Magnus from the Minecraft story mode, especially with this location. But yeah, this just teaches you a whole bunch of things. Once again, the altar is going to be needed for other aspects of this. I did get quite lucky with the whole witch aspect. Don't worry, I actually took this land out myself so I could actually set this up. The final aspect I'm going to teach you about in today's video is witches. The witch theme adds a whole new way to brew potions and the ability to brew potions that are usually unobtainable. The structures for this theme are mostly found in swamps, mangroves, and of course, pale gardens. Let's get this book. We once again have to make ourselves a special cauldron. Again, an absolutely fantastic way to make it. We're just going to very quickly go inside and see if we can find anything. Because just like before, there's going to be a bunch of things that we are going to need. Let's see. We've got the plates. They can be made on the altar as well. We've got a giant one of these. Basically, this gives you more than one use on a potion. As you all know, a potion in Minecraft only typically has one use. And then you throw it away, right? That's not the case with this. These are really useful. This has even more potions as well. Anything else? Not that I can see. Again, you guys are going to get a little bit more time to explore these than I am. I just want to show you guys exactly how this works. This is actually going to require a couple more items. Nothing too strenuous. Candle, book, and those plates or those witching iron pieces. Okay, this is going to let you craft the witch's table, which will then give you the ability to craft these. You're going to need a couple of these. I think it's 5 in total that we actually need. So we'll grab ourselves one more of these. So 1 has to go on the floor. Then you have to put these either side. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's now combined together. This goes inside of here. What else can I make here? We do need a ladle as well. We're also going to need a bunch more. So we'll grab ourselves a ladle. We've also got ourselves these for the whole potion aspect as well. Perfect. Now we can start making ourselves some potions, right? So just like before, this goes in. You would then have to grab this and obviously get that spinning around. This explains how to do these certain things. So the flask potion holds, is it 8? Cauldron holds up to 8 flasks of potions. So the whole process works the exact same. Now there is also going to be, this can go inside of here, I believe. Hold on, we can actually make this into an arcane one. What does the arcane one actually do? Again, guys, there's so much things to take in here. I've forgotten some of it. The ladle can be reforged at the arcane, making it stir potions much quicker. Aha. So this is going to make things a little bit quicker than before. So let's try this. Drop this in. Grab ourselves this. It should spin it a lot faster. You could then do /give at P glowstone, I think. Let's try the dust. Does this make it even better? Put that in. I'm gonna grab myself one of these. Let's check this. So this has more uses. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's 4 uses, not 8. Yeah, but you get 8. You can take this out 8 times. So that's what that means. 4 and 4 equals 8. It also says hexagon blooms are special flowers that grow at the Herbalist flora planta and can be imbued with effects of potion. They work with any potion known or forgotten. So we'd have to make ourselves a basic one. So if I was to go to this, type in bloom, which would be this one. This would be the basic bloom, I believe. So we would then have to do something very similar to what we've just done, right? So let's grab ourselves some water here. We'll make a different one here. We'll put this in. We'll put this one in. Spin this around. I'm going to grab myself some blaze powder real quick. Because this is going to have to go in. Spin it again. Let's go redstone so it lasts a little bit longer on this occasion. Put this in. Oops. Spin it one more time. And then you end up with these. So we can dip that in, take this out. So check the information for the flora. So that's one thing I'm not quite sure on, guys. And once again, I apologize. Just a lot to take in, the whole flora aspect. But it shows you how to make different potions that wouldn't actually exist before, apparently. So, yeah, you can put in a trial key, apparently. So unexpected. But you can see all of the available potions we're able to make. And just like before, once again, guys, there is different sushis you're able to dip depending on what potions you've actually put in there. They only last a very short time, but they're still really, really cool. If we just scroll down a little bit more, we've also got access to... What else is down here? There's wither-related ones. Down here, we have a lot of the blooms. The bloom? Do we type in bloom? Yeah, again, this is one thing I haven't actually fully learned. But I'm guessing if you combine it with the planters, that's how you would get the different species of plants. But overall, guys, super impressed with this. Hopefully you made it this far in today's video. If you did, leave a comment and say, hey, Echo, that's a really nice pumpkin patch. I've spent hours making this, so I hope it's helped you. Hopefully you can learn the rest of the stuff that I didn't quite understand. But honestly, 10 out of 10 add-on. Highly recommend it. Pixel Beaster, fantastic company.